many times have you found yourself feeling bad for playing video games instead of studying? While watching a movie, you feel guilty because you feel like you should be studying instead. When you wake up early in the morning, you want to exercise, but you're also tempted to get started on your workload for the day. In this day and age, there is this tendency for us to glorify the idea of hustle culture. And I admit I am one of those people. I always advocate working hard and hustling for whatever you want in life. But I also think that it's very important that you consciously make time for your hobbies. Yes, it's good to be productive and hardworking, but buying too much into the idea of hustle culture can turn you into a one-dimensional human being. And that's not what life is about. Life is a multi-dimensional experience that we should be fully immersing ourselves in. And if everything that we do is merely geared towards achieving all of our goals, we miss out on the other aspects of life that we could have been exploring. But more than that, doing everything for the purposes of hustling and productivity can lead to eventual burnout. This can lead to compounding stress, anxiety, and just overall unhappiness. And in this video, I'm going to talk further about why it's so important for you to have hobbies. And also, we will be talking about tips on how you can stay productive even when you're a serial hobbyist. Lastly, at the end of this video, we will have an action task that will require your participation, so please stay tuned for that. Now, the first reason why it's important to have a hobby is because committing to a hobby is still a form of personal development. And this applies to whatever kind of hobby you might have. For example, if you're a collector like me, then the hobby teaches you the values of patience, research, and working hard for what you want. If your hobby is playing guitar, then you're working on your hand, eye, and ear coordination while also sharpening your cognitive function. And studies have shown that this could potentially protect you from the development of onset Alzheimer's or even dementia when you get older. If you're taking up a new language as a hobby, then you're developing your skills as a communicator. Any kind of wholesome hobby carries with it some sense of personal development. Aside from that, hobbies also help you to be more creative. Whenever you partake into your favorite hobbies, you're increasing your chances of entering what we call the flow state. This is the kind of feeling that you get when you're so laser focused into doing just one thing that you manage to shut out everything else that's going on in the world. You can achieve this through running or doing yoga, reading books or watching movies, playing musical instruments, journaling or drawing. And as you enter these flow states, there's a restorative element to these sensations. You get a clearer mind and you sharpen your focus, which will allow you to be more creative and productive whenever you need to be. Hobbies also help you find communities that you can fit into. For example, one budding hobby-based community that's really increasing in popularity right now is the mechanical keyboards community. There are also communities for PC builders, podcasters, YouTubers, and content creators in general. When I was younger, I did a lot of musical theater, and during that stint in my childhood, I managed to create some of the most impactful relationships that I've had with people in my entire life. Sometimes your hobbies will even involve other people, like in team sports. In that case, your hobby will teach you the value of hard work and camaraderie. Hobbies also have a way of boosting your confidence. The feeling of achieving anything worthwhile can do wonders for your confidence. Think of the kind of high that you get whenever you win a video game or when you get a PR at the gym. It gives you a sense of achievement that's very hard to replicate. And this confidence can serve as a motivator for you to pursue other things. Lastly, hobbies just make the concept of the grind a lot more tolerable. Every day, I always look forward to finishing all of my works so that I can spend the rest of my free time pursuing my hobbies. I still consider this YouTube channel to be a hobby outside of what I actually do for a living, and it's the same with my podcast as well. It's an endeavor that stemmed from my love and my hobby of reading books and literature. If I didn't have these hobbies to take up my free time, I would be feeling so lost and uninspired all of the time. Now the question is, how do you balance being productive with your work while also being a serial hobbyist? The first piece of advice that I can give you is to actually make time for your hobbies. How many times have we abandoned a hobby just because we didn't have the time for it? If you're like me, then you schedule a huge chunk of your day for work-related tasks. But I also make sure to schedule a considerable amount of time for my hobbies. Most of the time, my early mornings are dedicated to reading and running. Late at night, I'm either playing guitar, listening to music, watching movies, or just playing video games. And at random points throughout the day, I'm working on my side projects like my YouTube channel or my podcast podcast. And if you stick to your schedule properly, that means you can spend actual time on your hobbies without feeling guilty about it. And the next piece of advice that I can give you when it comes to practicing your hobbies is to set meaningful goals. Just because hobbies are designed to take the pressure off of your life doesn't mean that you can just slack off in terms of your approach. I think the best way to make hobbies more meaningful would be to set actual goals that you can pursue. For example, when I play the guitar, I don't just play random chords or riffs. I make it a point to learn and master real songs. That way, I'm still adding a sense of purpose and direction to my guitar playing. It's the same when you're playing video games. You always make it a point to accomplish a mission or to just complete an entire quest. By setting goals, you're giving yourself the opportunity to feel a sense of accomplishment once you actually achieve them. And that just about does it for this video, but before we end, I'd like you to comment down below, what are the activities that make you feel happy? How do these activities create a positive impact on your life? And how much time per day are you willing to devote to these hobbies? I'd love to read your answers in the comment section, so please don't be shy. And as always, please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed its contents. And of course, subscribe to this channel. It would really help me expand to a wider audience if you show your support in that manner. And as always, I'm open to listening to your suggestions on what kinds of topics I should cover for this channel, so please don't feel shy about commenting down below what you would like me to talk about. But yeah, that just about does it for this video. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you around again soon.